Good morning, everybody, with my new haircut. I'll cut off my hair again. Super long at the front, short at the back. I know it's not 9 a.m. Melbourne time, it's 11 a.m. and we missed our UBS live, at the correct time this morning. So I'm coming on live because normally Mondays is UBS live call. And as you guys know or have observed, over the last 2 or 3 weeks, we have had a massive national tour. First time in my life this has happened, and I'm just, I don't even know what to think. I'm pinching myself. Is this really real? Is this happening to me, of all people? And yeah, it's been, so I've just sort of thought I'd come on live and talk about this year and what it took to make this happen and how it happened. So what I'm going to do is just make sure that all of this is happening. So I'm just going to make sure on my computer that it's broadcasting and that, yep, it's all happening here. And I'm going to share it across to our groups to make sure that it goes into UBS, which is where these calls actually do end up in. And let's paste it in. Oh no, that's not what we want. We want UBS Live. Let's have a look here. I'll just move this across to this side. UBS Live, the 500k tour unpacked. Okay. All right. Copy. Post, and I'll share it also into the Author Your Way to Riches group. Hopefully my internet's gonna stay play with us well this morning. Not on my timeline. We're gonna go into sorry guys, Author Your Way to Riches group. Okay, all right, we're live across 3 different groups. So welcome to those of you that are joining us or watching this recording. I just thought I'd come on this morning, and even though it's not 9 a.m., we are going to talk about what the hell just happened in the last 8 days. I can't believe it. So I posted into the Ultimate Business Support group that we just had our first 500k month. Actually, it ended up being probably about 530. And sales and new clients coming on board, and I wanted to sort of discuss a little bit about how this happens in business and why and what's been happening this year, and of course take any questions that you guys may have as a result of it. So in business, I have learned that obviously you need to practice patience, but that there's also going to, if you do the work and you put in the hours and you turn up and you take all the rejection alongside the wins, which is a lot greater than the wins, then you will have certain times in your business a snowball effect. And my very first mentor, Peter, said to me, told me this, Nat, there will be a snowball effect. There will be something that will come. And I just chose to believe him. And ever since then, this was like in my first year of business, he said that to me. And I have seen multiple snowball effects at certain times, like, they either happen once or twice a year. That's what I've kind of noticed in my experience. Because in business, it's not like a job where you're going to have a ton of, like regular business. It just doesn't happen like all like really things is just happening normal or you're just growing consistently. There's peaks and troughs and all that sort of stuff. This year's been a tough one. We had a changeover of a Facebook guy, and a few of you guys have seen me report back on that. That we had the changeover of our Facebook guy who was with us for 2.5 years back over Christmas, and how upset I was over that because things were running so smoothly, and all of a sudden they got handed over to someone else. As much as we tried to have a smooth handover, everything went to shit. And it was scary because this was the only, the best way we were, executing our model of running our half-day workshop, to then obviously finding and discovering our talented authors that join our program, and then of course doing what we do best, and that is help people write books in 48 hours. And so we also took and launched the business to the US, which was a really, really exciting part of what we did. And as much as I didn't think at the time that I did amazing over there, I still had my exact same conversion rate I have in Australia with the people I got there. And we actually did go into the green. We didn't lose money. We actually did cover our costs and expenses. And we met some amazing people and established new people and networks that, we can come back to as well. And in hindsight now, of course, I think, oh my God, that was an amazing launch first time. And now I've got Dubai. Oh my God, you guys, I'm going to Dubai in like 8 days time. I've just gotten home, feeling super guilty as a mum, coming home after being away for 2 weeks from my kids, and now going to Dubai and Macedonia for 3 weeks. But I know that once that's over, then I've got my 3 months of quality time and lots of hanging out here at home. Looking at those things, America took a big focus away from what we were doing here in Australia, because we just didn't know what to do, how to promote it, what joint venture partners. So we spent a lot of time trying things that absolutely did not work. Absolutely did not work, which we know next time when we would do it, we know exactly what not to do and not to waste time. But it did take away our focus. So our Facebook ads guide changed, and everything went to shit, as I said. And then the tour in America took our focus away from Australia. So these first 6 months of 2017, that's where we're in, were really like, it's like, oh, lots of things are not working. And it was like pulling teeth, and it's like, but no, you had to get up every day and do it again and do it again and do it again, and stand up and just keep turning up, no matter what. You just have to keep turning up. Otherwise, well, our back's up against the wall. If we don't perform, especially if I don't perform in our business, being the face of the business, 5 people don't get to eat or have a roof over their heads, and all the other people that I've engaged and been responsible for. So there's no option but to see how to fix it, keep working on a way to fix things. And then came July, and we had someone who had been fixing up the back end on our Facebook ads, and it started to work. It started to work again. So people were booking left, right, and center, whereas we were getting 3 bookings every few days, or 4, like really ridiculous numbers. There was weeks we were getting 50 bookings through to all of our city events and the tour and all that sort of stuff that was upcoming. So when we started off the tour, we had nearly over 40 people in 3 cities, and nearly 30 people in 2 cities. Now these were my little numbers that after the tour that I calculated. I got how many people did really turn up live, how many were no-shows, how many were became our authors, and what was that conversion rate and percentage of no-shows. Actually, what happened on this tour, we had 27% no-shows, and these are paid tickets, right, guys? You think you're running a paid event and that pretty much everyone should show up, because when people pay, they generally show up. And in the past, I've only had 2 or 3 no-shows per event or whatever it is, but I had 17 no-shows in Brisbane and 17 no-shows in Perth. Can you believe it? 7 on the Gold Coast, 4 in the Sunshine Coast, and 8 in Adelaide. So 53 people out of the 197 didn't turn up, right? And there were certain people who were sick and all that. Now let's talk about no-shows. So when we talk and think about no-shows, you kind of go, you can take it a little bit personally. But no-shows is just people who perhaps are not ready to hear your message. They're not ready to step up. They're not ready to be in the room, and that's cool. You know, we gave them an option. Usually what we do with no-shows is we send them the no-shows email, and the email gives them access to, if they'd like to watch the filmed footage of the event, they can, so they don't feel like they've lost their money, if you like. And then we send them an ebook version download of my book, which is the physical book that they get in the room. So we had 53 no-shows, had 144 people live across the 5 different cities. And our most successful city, drum roll, was Adelaide. Adelaide was the most successful city, with 7 authors coming on board in a room of 36. So I looked at my overall conversion, and in case the reason I'm sharing all of these stats is because you need to, sometimes people think, you know, everyone just says yes to us, but no, they don't say yes to us all the time. We get more no's than yeses, right? So I would say, so 144 people turned up in the rooms live. 24 of those signed up as authors, plus over September I had another 5 from the Melbourne trip, from Sydney, Canberra, and I had one person ring me from Greece and sign up and is coming to the retreat. So overall, over the month, over 30 authors. So multiply that by 19,000 and you'll figure out where that figure came from, right? So 24, let's say, out of the 144, right? That was 16.67 conversion, which I smashed I normally operate at about 10%. In case you're curious, like what should someone convert, you know, in a room? Well, the standard where we've been hovering is about 10% for the last 2 years, which is really good. People are saying in America I should have been only converting 5%, but I was doing 10% there as well. So this tour was massive, like 17. That's a huge increase, in case you're curious, like what's conversion and increase rates and all that sort of stuff. So out of the 144 people though, I would say 60%, let's work out what that is. So I can tell you how much I got rejected, okay? So 144 people, 60% of those 144 people wanted to have a chat with us to qualify for a retreat. So 86 people we spoke one-on-one to after those events. Either myself, Stuart and Francesca helped. And so 86 people, which means, let's say we didn't qualify about 10 of them. So 10 of them we said, no, you're not as fit for our program. We don't see this helping you, and you know, all the best. And we guided them. So let's minus 10 of those. So that's 76 now. So 76 minus the 24 that came, we got 52 rejections, right? We got 52 no's to get our 24 yeses, which is actually pretty good. Like I would probably even get to more. Like I'd probably hit 10 or 20 no's to every yes, right? So I'm just sharing these figures to you that it's not like, you know, every person was like, oh, you're doing so awesome and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. So I hope this is helpful, because I am, you know, I'm really open about everything that I do. There's just no secrets, and I always share what I have learned. And I look at these numbers and I go, wow, you know, but the snowball effect did happen. As I said, the first 6 months was hard. It was super hard. It was like levels of uncertainty, you know. July, August, you know, we're kind of like just came back from America, so again, to get the momentum back up here in Australia. So we did decide not to do America next year. We will do it the year after, because we just want to, like what we started here now. Thanks, Scott. I wanted someone to say something, right? Lots of you are watching and not saying anything. Maybe you're just taking notes. So we decided to keep the focus here, because also I'm going to Dubai, right? I'm going to Dubai, and over there, over 140 people have registered for Dubai, and that's just Dubai, not Abu Dhabi and Sharjah. I might be doing 3 events over there. So I'm really, really excited. If you do know anyone Dubai-based that can help us promote even more, that would be awesome. But now this week, I'm really stuck in my chair right here. And I need to do 2-hour preps. I need to get these authors. You know, another thing that happened, and the thing I was like, I only had 5 authors signed into my November retreat. And that's like the lowest number I have ever had. And I said to Stuart, okay, well, this might be a really, really intimate retreat because, you know, no one's really picking November. So, and that's okay because you're going to have some retreats are higher and lower and all that sort of stuff. But I was like, oh my God, what's happened? Because I thought it was that start of the year catching up, like, you know, the crap, the shit, the low numbers catching up to this back end of the year, because whatever we do at the start of the year obviously has the flow on effect to what happens at the end of the year. And so I, you know, I went on this tour, you know, all right, if we have an intimate event, we have an intimate event. But anyway, we're sitting at 15 people for November now. And this is why this week, like, I'm doing 2 preps today, 3 preps tomorrow, another 2 on Wednesday. It's just absolutely insane. I need to get everyone prepped before I go to Dubai. Of course, Stuart's helping me as well at the same time, but I'm doing these myself. And it's, you know, and you've got to get, you know, systems. And what I worked on in July, when it was quiet, just after America, trying to build up this momentum, is I worked on creating my prep process to be more systemized and more easier, so I'm not repeating myself so much. Hey everybody, I know a few people are joining, but I'm just in the flow of delivering the content. So that's what happened. Those were all the strategies, those were all the numbers that I just shared with you. I also keep like a Facebook spreadsheet, and I often have talked about this. You know, oh, I forgot to post before, one other thing, but my Facebook spreadsheet like tells me how many people turned up, how many people were no-shows, how many people, what's it called, how many people, what did I spend, what did it cost me to spend per person in the room, what was obviously the conversion rate, and all of those. And I've got this running sheet all throughout the whole 30 or 40 events. Hey Lorraine and Natalie. So it's been a whirlwind. The snowball came. I had to trust. Let me tell you a little joke. So I was feeling very like, you know, it's like, what's happening? Why is it not, that stuff is not working? And my husband, who's my rock, he's always like, you know, let's focus on what we can do today. Don't worry about, hey, don't worry. He goes, don't get so anxious about the future, right? Momentum and consistency, and keep being lucky, doing the hard work no one sees yet. So I was like feeling really crappy, and she was like, just do what we can do today. Don't worry about the future, because if you focus on the future, you get anxious, right? If you focus on the past, you get depressed. And I'm like, because one of my strengths is to be futuristic. This is where I get stuck in my head. What's gonna happen in 6 or 12 months time? And he and I just angrily at one point said to him, look, you're in charge of faith department. So now it's an ongoing joke about faith department, because in business you have to have faith, right? You can't, it's not a job where you every week you know you're going to get your paycheck, all that sort of stuff. You know, sometimes you're going to smash it, sometimes you're going to be like just quietly little, like a little mouse, right? And in July, and early August, we were like little mice, preparing systems, getting organized. Like I'm getting ready for, obviously I must have known somewhere subconsciously that I was getting ready for this boom. So I would like, you know, just get everything super organized so I can absorb and service this influx of business. And it worked really well. And also what happens in business is like, you know, okay, well, where's our cash flow sitting? Because if our cash flow is not at a healthy position, and it's not that it wasn't, but I know if I'm not making the consistent sales, I'm not going to go crazy and buy lots of shit, you know, like, you know, like we bought stuff this weekend. I actually didn't, because it wasn't my day yesterday. I just had my haircut. But I said to the kids, okay, toys, we got $50 for every kid, you know, let's, you know, get something that you guys like as a reward, because you have to reward yourself. You work so hard, you have to reward yourself. I wanted to buy a new camera to take photos in my workshops and, you know, travel like a new SLR. And I went to 5 places and it just wasn't my day. But, anyway, I'm sure I'm going to get myself something from Chanel in Dubai as a reward for this. But again, because the you know, we weren't like skyrocketing, you just go, okay, well, just be mindful of the spending. What are you spending? Where are you going? And all that sort of stuff. So because you don't want to get, you know, into a situation where you can't pay your tax. And I was saying to people, like, I've got to pay $200,000 in tax in the next 12 months. over all the quarterly things. So I need to be super healthy cash flow position to be able to do that, to keep the business viable. And yeah, so there's some of the insider things and the behind the scenes stuff that's been happening. I know, like, I didn't come on live too many times, just a little bit in the morning from each of the rooms. I was just basically really focused. There was, you know, you see the 4-hour event, but there's just so much work before and after to make sure everyone has been given what they were promised to be given, has been organized, has been set up, and all that kind of stuff. So so I have to say, I'm feeling really blessed to have fully booked November retreat, February retreat, May retreat next year. So I'm now 3 retreats, so well booked. You know, numbers that I just love, you know, and now I'm focusing on servicing these people and just making them have, you know, create the books and the businesses behind those books that, you know, they hired me to create. So I just really want to thank everyone who's been supportive of me. Thank you, Scott, for the messages you've sent, and I know you understand, you know, sort of what happens. And often when people say, you know, I want to do what you're doing, Nat, and I always say, well, you got to be prepared to also do what I've done, and the things that I do on a daily basis that create this the business that it is right now. And you know, with Dubai, we probably may end up also at over 100 authors this year, which is gonna. And we already. I didn't think this year was gonna surpass last year. Last year we thought we absolutely smashed it, but this year it has surpassed last year as of now. And we have, and I think it's not over yet. If I've got 140 people plus waiting for me in Dubai, and I've still got Melbourne events coming up. Lorraine says faith department is a cool term. Stu is your rock. Yeah, rewards are important. I just moved, so I should get back on track. Awesome. And well done, Lorraine. Yeah, faith department. You know, Stuart is in charge of that, because I always know faith over fear. But fear can sneak up on every single one of us. Hey, Mary, nice to see you and have you at that masterclass a couple of weeks ago. So, guys, that was my journey. That was, if you just joined or you're sort of jumping on late, do watch the start of this video. I talk a little bit about the numbers, the mindset, the rejection that I have achieved, and the rejection that I have achieved, right? Well, I have achieved it, because you've got to achieve a certain amount of rejection to get a certain amount of acceptance and yeses, and that I think also with the way we re-systemized and reorganized how we get everyone set up, I feel it's rock solid. I learned from some emotional decisions that I made this year. Over intelligence. I loved how Daniel put it, one of my Las Vegas authors from Phoenix. Daniel put it, E over I is a lie. I over E sets you free. So let me explain what that means. E, emotions over intelligence, is a lie. Intelligence over emotion sets you free. And when I thought about that, and I thought about 2 or 3 decisions that I made around certain people, yes, I made it from an emotional place rather than an intelligent place, and I have changed that. And I think that's a big penny dropping moment when he said that to me, and now I'm going to remember that every single time. You know, I make decisions, and that's okay, because actually also the gift that I was given by those poor decisions was to fix a lot of things that are just now going to give me a peace of mind and calmness around how everything's going to happen. So I'm really happy. You know, everything happens for a reason, and that's cool. And I just watch this space. What can I say? I have got, and I don't know, I never thought this was possible. Let me tell you this last story before I go. So when I started in business, you know, like all of us, well, I don't know if you're all of us, but that's my vision board you guys can see here in my office. And I had put on my vision board when I had only made $7,000 in my first year, that I wanted to have the $100,000 month. And I put it there, and for 2 years, I three, probably more than 2 or 3. But I watched and watched and watched and watched and watched that $100,000 a month on my vision board, and I didn't think it was possible. I go, I'm not even making $100,000 a year. Like, how the hell am I going to do $100,000 a month? Like, it's like, are you serious? And then about 3 years in, 3.5, I had the $100,000 a month. And I've done it multiple times now, like almost every month now. That's like a new thing. And then I go, well, once upon a time in an NLP training 7 years ago, Alice Hammerley, some of you may know her, reported that she had just had her $1 million month. And I was like, what? Are you serious? Like, what does that, how does even a person do that? But that's the key question. How does someone do that? So when we say how, we want to look for the answer, right? And I also have this game, and some of you may have heard me talk about my I Wonder game. And my I Wonder game is all about when I hear something and I'm like really curious, or I really want to achieve that for myself. In my mind, somewhere in my subconscious, this is not even purposely done, but I almost say to myself, I wonder what someone has to do to achieve that. And then like that, it gets thought about and then gets put to the side. And I don't know, I don't even think about it consciously, but I know when I achieve that thing, I remember that I played the I Wonder game years before that. And so this was like something that I'll tell you a couple of examples. When Terry Hawkins first spoke in front of my OPSM conference, this is probably now going over 10 years ago. She spoke at a conference for OPSM, and she did an amazing job. She was so inspirational. She had a book, and I said to myself at that moment, wow, well, you know, she's so much fun. She's so funny. She's so inspirational. I wonder what someone has to do to like speak in front of 1,000 people, you know. And 7 years later, I had a book and I spoke at a conference for 5 figures, a corporate conference, and did what she did. Yeah. And when I got off the stage, the participants said, oh my God, Terry Hawkins used to speak for our conference. I was like, what? I was so super crazy. A few years ago, 3 years ago, when I first joined the Professional Speakers Association, I sat in that room and I wondered how long it would take me to present at one of their monthly meetings because the speakers on the stage were so awesome. And 4 months later, this one happened really quickly. They asked me, someone dropped out and they asked me, and I was 38 weeks pregnant, and I got to speak at our monthly meeting. Then I went to their conference that March. And I sat there and I watched people receiving their CSP, which is Certified Speaking Professional, really the highest accreditation you can have as a professional speaker. And I sat there did a gala awards dinner, and I wondered, you know, how long will it take me to get my CSP? Like, you know, people were taking decades to do this. But the criteria changed, and we could get measured on event-related sales, which meant that the sales that I would make from my workshops would count. I didn't have to get corporate speaking revenue, right? It's my purely revenue as a speaker. And so literally 12 months to the day, not only was I their diamond sponsor, but I also was on stage receiving my CSP, okay? And so my I Wonder game, it's just this thing that comes into my head. Even I saw a girl the year before Stuart quit his job to join me in the business, posting about her husband quitting his job and joining her in the business. And I wonder when I'll be posting. I wonder when I'll be making that post about my husband joining my business and quitting his job. And literally like a year later, I was making that post saying that Stuart was quitting his job and joining me in the business. And it was like, oh my God, this game totally works. So, showing you my vision board, I did put, where is it? I'm trying to find it here. Where is it? Oh, Jesus. Might have fallen off. My daughter comes into this room and I'm just trying to find it, you guys. My daughter comes in and pulls, here it is. All right, I'm back. I know I dropped out. All right, so that's where it's at. I put it down there. I have got the $1 Million Month on my vision board, and after having a $550,000 month just now, I'm kind of thinking, oh my God, this might actually happen very soon. So stay tuned, you guys. I have no idea how. Money is a reflection of how many people we help and how much value we bring into the world and the universe. And of course, by doing that, we are helping. Sorry, guys. I'm going to go because this has now started to drop out. I hope this was valuable. Watch the recording because there was a ton of content shared in here. I know this wasn't our standard UBS Live call on 9 a.m. Mondays, but I'll keep you guys posted for next Monday. If you just joined, just go back and rewatch this, and it's posted in the 2 different groups. So hope you guys are doing well. Have an amazing week. Go smash it out. I'm gonna go prepare some more of my authors.